Man, it is hot in Texas today. Hey guys, it's Jay with Tactimav. So today we're going to cover the Sportsbar installation from Keiko. Now this thing is pretty cool. Love it. Getting a lot of reactions from folks. People really like the way it looks. I love the way it looks. And bear in mind, it really is mostly for looks. It's not an anti-roll bar, right? So it has a couple of features that kind of go beyond that. One is gives you a nice place to grab onto when you're climbing in out of your bed on both sides. So that's pretty cool. You got some rubber grommets in the front and on the side here. That will allow you to access and run wires for lights, which they do sell a kit for that too. And we're definitely going to be installing lights. Now for us, this is particularly special because we're going to basically use it as a base point, kind of like a foundation to build off of. And we're going to add a secondary bar here that's going to have the pintle mount. That's going to allow us to mount the fun stuff, right? It's going to take a little time to do that because, of course, we got metal fabrication to do and powder coating and whatnot. So, but we'll get it working. So today's video, we're just going to cover installing this, and they run about $600 or so, depending on what time of year you buy them. If you get a good discount, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. It'd really help us out. Appreciate you guys, and y'all stay safe out there.
So here we've got our Keiko Sportsbar. And we got, it's funny, it's Sportsbar, but it's barra anti-vuelco, right? Which is anti-roll bar. It's technically not an anti-roll bar. Don't ever think it is, because it is definitely not structural.
All right. So we'll take the bar out of here first.
One help.
Oh, I got this part. Put it here for a second. And another box in here with stuff. And another box over here. Oh, wonderful. I just love it when broken styrofoam is in the box, don't you? Pull, keep on. All right, there we go. We have two long bars that go there. You don't have a blade. Adhesive, and then all the bolts. Right there. All right. Time to get started. Start off by trimming these pieces off right here, right along the dotted lines there. And we'll start off with one of the forward brackets. A little bit of rubbing alcohol here and wipe down the inside of the bracket part that would make contact with the bed caps, so that theoretically, if you ever remove this off, these little rubber insulating pads will keep that bed cap in a better condition. All right. Pop that down here level with this edge and then kind of work it in there. And these are going kind of the long way here rather than cut edges in the bottom, so that you don't really see the rough cut edges there, and it'll still do its job. And of course you have the last one here. That one started it right here at the bottom where that bend is, and then kind of work it kind of hard with the camera in my way here. Work it in here. And that should prep those pieces ready now. All right, so you got your padding done on the upper brackets here, and we are ready to go ahead and start mounting the brackets. Now, one thing that the instructions show you is to pull this off. Now, this is the upper tie downs here that are really, they're kind of light duty tie downs, right? In fact, I believe they may even double as bottle openers like the ones in the back. So I want to keep those, and what I did was I went ahead and got some 1/4 inch stainless steel lock washers. Even though the hardware, it's coated, it's not actually stainless, but I still went ahead and got stainless anyway. That way, since we're sandwiching these two pieces of metal together, to keep this upper tie down, it should stay put. Now, this isn't a load-bearing, you know, like a roll bar, but it is gonna have a lot of vibration, so I wanna make sure that we lock it down pretty good. The other thing to bear in mind is if you have a bed rug like we do, you're gonna have to cut some slits, and I'll do some close-ups on that, as well as if you had, of course, a plastic drop-in liner, you have to do the same. Spray-in liner, you guys are fine. I don't think you have to worry about that. Really cool design, by the way. I love how they designed it. So these go on the top, and then you have these that come in. And what it does is well, I had that backwards, but it locks it down and sandwiches it, right, in between this lower curled lip. So that's gonna give it a lot of structural rigidity versus putting any kind of lockdown clamp pressure on the actual bed cap, which could warp it and do all kinds of weird stuff. So kudos to Keiko for doing that. I love the way they designed this system. So all the stuff we're doing, make sure that you just loose fit it so that once you set the bar, and then you can start torquing everything down. I can kind of goes without saying, but you're going to need a T30 to get the upper bolts off of these upper factory tie downs. You're going to need a 13 for all the big bolts, and then a 10 for the two small bolts, long skinnies that go to this tie down replacement in that case. So let's get rolling. So to show you what corresponds to what, over here we have the factory tie down. So here are the long skinny bolts, comes with 4 of those, and I put the stainless steel lock washer, of course, in between the head and the actual washer that it comes with. Plan on using that to go to this, and that goes on the lower front mount. Now this is going to take the smaller washer that they come with for the lower mount, and it uses the bigger washers, even though it's the same bolt, on the uppers for the rear as well as the front. And this is how it orients it. And this tab here, you're going to want to pay attention to that. It does go on the inner part of the lip. So this part here is going to actually go up underneath the lip. So the extended tongue here is going to be facing towards the cab. And there's your 2 holes right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this bad boy up here. Line that up. One of them in there. Underneath. Get the other one started in there. Not always easy working around your phone. Okay, there we go. So we have that base. And then get started. Alright, I can sit there loose. So one thing to note that the instruction is not very clear about is the orientation of these brackets here that are on the forward. So angle them back where this angle is will bring them furthest away from the actual cab of the truck, which will give you plenty of space in there to still get to that third brake light if you need to, as well as, of course, it's not going to sit there and tap against the cab. So make sure that you orient them properly. Again, that's what you're looking at right there. And we can bring this in here. There. In there. Alright, we got the rear bracket ready to sneak that one up underneath here. Bolt started just a little bit. Putting that in there. There we go. Slide this one over. Big bolt with the big washer. So now that we've got all of the front and rear brackets on both sides started, then we'll go ahead and run them up but not tighten them all the way, right? So we still want to give ourselves some room to go ahead and move that sports bar around as needed to adjust everything. Next thing will be to actually mount the sports rack. Just kind of set it there, hold your end, figure it out, so this is going to go more forward. Longer than I thought it would. Ah, there we go. Just need to put some pressure on it. Beautiful. Alright. Got that started. You are going to want like a ratcheting 13 that's flat end. You're not going to have a lot of success getting a ratchet in there for sure. There we go. Alright. Got that started enough. Much easier. That first one, lining it in, is always a fun one, right? Alright, by hand, that's good. We will be bringing it back a little bit so it doesn't rest on anything over there. All right, let's get the other side. There we go. All right, now you can probably get yours in, okay? Yeah, go ahead and try. Well, you can do it. You got it. You got this. Now we have them started. There you go. All right. Hey, it's not easy to line these things up. Hey, now you're getting it. Use both fingers. There you go. All right. No, we're good. So now what we do is we ratchet them up with the 13. I actually kind of want a little bit on the inboard side. So I'm not going to tighten this all the way, okay? I'm just going to tighten it kind of snug. And then I'll adjust the brackets a little bit. So one of the last things you'll do is this plastic washer with the self-tapping screw will go into here to help kind of strengthen this bond here on this joint. And it does actually make a difference on the rigidity. I've obviously already started it, so it already has some nice threads there. And not too tight, just tight enough to lock it in place. There you go. So now what's left, now that we've torqued everything down, is to cut some slits here to allow the bed rug to go back in. Now if you have a hard drop-in liner, you have to cut it maybe a little differently, but this allows me, once I put some Velcro back in there, to still have this little flap, and I'll put a little piece of Velcro there. That'll be a nice clean install there where you've got the flap there. I mean, I could leave it exposed, but I prefer not to. And we still get to keep our tie down there, which is awesome. I like the fact I'll be able to use that. All right. All right, so we got some Velcro pieces on here to get the bed cover back in. And then we'll put a couple of pieces right here. Not too worried about covering up the bolt because these Velcro strips can be ripped out pretty easily if need be. Just peel them out from underneath there. But this will keep them up there. And that way if you bump into it, you're not going to hurt yourself on that bracket. And we're going to be in this bed a lot, so I like that extra padding there, so it works out good. All right, so there you have it.